So I actually wish I'd had some of the systems we have now back then, because then I could have looked better at what I had been doing, because I didn't really have systems for keeping track of a lot of my goals or successes or failures or whatever else. I wasn't doing a lot of like debriefing or paying close attention to what was working, what wasn't. But honestly, everything kind of felt like having 4 pots on the stove at the same time. Like, oh, is that burning? Oh, is that boiling over? Like, never really sure that I had everything under control. So my big goal I've had for myself for a while is to completely fill up my coaching practice and have a wait list. But back then, I thought, if that happens, I'm gonna drown. Like, there's no way I can handle a full, not that I didn't have the time, it was just like, I had no systems. I had no organization. If all those people came through, I'd be cooked. But it would have been a big mess. So at that point, I knew, I'm like, I've got to have help with the structure, or else I'm going to keep wanting to scale and never being able to get there because I don't have the infrastructure for it. As creatives, like, we love to do things that fill that creative bucket, right? So I did find myself spending a lot of time doing fun things that weren't actually helping my business move forward necessarily. It was like creating a new offer or a new freebie or something so fun, but I didn't have the systems in place to know what I should be doing and to know if it was actually moving the needle. So my biggest pain point was just taking care of my clients. So I would get a client and I'd be like, great, I got to send them that call link. And I send them the call link, then great. Where are taking notes again? Oh, and where are the notes that I took on the last session? And I need to review. And what was her homework assignment? Like, what did I give her to do? What do I need to follow up with? And where's her phone number? Like, it was just a mess. It was, and I consider myself a fairly organized person, but I think I just hadn't thought through all of the issues that were going to come up when having multiple clients and knowing where to put all this stuff, where to access it quickly. And so that was the first thing that I thought you were going to come in and teach me how to do that manually, but instead you came in and taught me how to automate it all, which was 10 times better, instead of trying to go manually pull up all this stuff when I needed it. So yeah, mostly just taking care of clients, onboarding, CRM, all of that was just non-existent. I mean, I know this sounds dramatic, but my business is honestly unrecognizable from a year ago. It's like, I feel so confident. I'm like, let the clients come. I know exactly where they're going to sign up. I know exactly how they're going to pay. I know exactly where their information is going to get dropped in. I don't have to do any of that manually. It's all just step by step taken care of for me. And the other thing is, it really boosts my own confidence as a coach. Like, you don't have to have systems to be a great coach. You can be a great coach and be kind of a hot mess on the back end, but it's going to leak through in your coaching, right? You're going to all of a sudden be frazzled on a call because you don't know where to access this information, or somebody's going to fall through the crack, right? All of a sudden you forgot to manually move a call into your calendar, and now you've missed a call with a client, and that looks really bad. So that's kind of where I was. It's like, I felt like I was a really good coach, but the admin part was such a mess that I knew it was going to start seeping into my coaching and was going to either give me a bad reputation or just make me feel horrible that I was not serving my clients the way I needed to. So probably my biggest win was creating fully automated and really awesome onboarding system. So that was like the one thing that when I talked to you at the beginning, that I really wanted to get done. And we did, and I'm so proud of it. So now people come and they fill out this amazing form that has all their information. And it reminds me, what we're going to be working on, like, so what some of their pain points are, so all their contact information. And then that sends them over to where they pay me, and then that sends them over to more information I get in. Like, it's just all perfectly automated and just so beautiful. And I'm really proud of it. Every time somebody signs up, I'm like, here, go through my really beautiful onboarding system. And then I know their stuff is going to be in my CRM, and everything is just taken care of so beautifully and automatedly, if that's a word. And I'm so proud of it. It makes it, like I said, just really boosts my confidence as a coach, knowing that I'm taking care of my clients the best way possible. I have more clients now. How many times did I tell you I was going to change my offer last year? 3, 4? There was always this big, great idea. Again, we're creatives, so there's nothing wrong with having new ideas. But constantly trying to change something means I'm uncomfortable because it's not working the way I want it to, right? And so, I mean, I know that you're a coach, and I knew that going in, but I kind of thought, well, we're going to do all the automated stuff and all the systems, and that's going to be so fantastic. Also not acknowledging that I just need a coach. Like, everybody needs a coach, to hold your feet in the fire when you're thinking, well, I'm just going to change this one thing because I think it'll be better, right? Because I want to get away from the negative feelings I'm allowing myself to feel because it's not working the way I think, right? So that was huge. Just having a coach telling me, yeah, or you could just continue moving forward, or you could try something different with the same offer, or, just kind of pushing back against some of my some of those like childish tantrums your brain goes through, like, it's not working, I don't want to do this anymore, kind of a thing. So that was so beneficial. And then also just my planning strategy. So having all of my planning in one place, I've been a pretty good planner in the past. I make goals, but that's kind of where it stops. I don't actually break them down into a lot of tasks. I don't hold myself accountable to those tasks. So meeting regularly was so beneficial because you could always, and also honestly, the other people in the group too, were always bringing me back from like, don't go too far off track. Like, remember, is this part of one of your objectives for the quarter? Is this actually moving your goals forward? Or are you just like squirrel mentality going after the next thing that sounds exciting to work on? I think there were two best parts. One was learning how to use fill out for so many different things and connect it to Airtable. Now I feel like I have this really robust system that I can use for anything. Right now I'm mostly using it for onboarding, but I can use it for anything, for collecting testimonials, for getting feedback on something else, for any number of things. So that is a really powerful tool I'm glad that we figured out how to use. But honestly, more than anything, the program was so beneficial for accountability. And I don't feel like I'm one of those people that has to have somebody checking on her all the time to get work done. But like I said, I get distracted so easily. I'm still working, but I'm not working on things that actually matter because that doesn't necessarily feel good today. I'm not really in the mood for that. Yeah. So having to check in regularly was like, hey, that's really cool, but is this in keeping with your plan? And tell me how it's going to come back to it. Or, like, even if I had to take a vacation or something, because I did a lot of traveling last year, I did a lot of fun stuff, but there was always something to come back to get me back on track for my business and not wasting precious time. So I, for many years, was like a perpetual course signer-upper and person that would pay someone else to tell me what to do in my business. And I eventually got to a place where I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I have enough knowledge that I know where to move forward. But I think your program was the first one that I was 1000% in on before you ever sent me the sales page. I just knew that you knew what you were talking about and that I needed that. So I think the way you described it on your sales page was so beneficial because it spoke exactly to what was in my brain. Do you feel like you're juggling balls all the time? Do you feel like one misstep, you're going to drop them all? Do you feel like you can't serve your clients really well because your systems are a mess? So basically, if you're considering it, just do it. I honestly don't know that I never signed up for another program that delivered as well and as quickly as Streamline and just kept me accountable for so long. I love that it was such a long container. And kept me coming back over and over and over when my squirrel brain wanted to go to new things. I honestly wish I could have joined Streamline like 3 years ago, because the more you work with broken systems, the more mess you make. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like trying to put things away in your home without any place for them. If you've ever moved into a new house or you're trying to, wait, where do I even put my silverware? First, you have to have a plan. You have to have a system for where things go before you can ever put it away. And that's how I feel like my business went for the first 2.5 years, was just like, whack-a-mole. Like, oh, this thing. Oh, I gotta take care of this thing. Oh, I gotta take care of this thing. If I had Streamlined at the beginning and had created some of these systems ahead of time, I would have been so much better off because I wouldn't have made the mess that I had to undo a little bit. So yes, you want to have coach certification or training, right? You want to know that you're a good coach, but I think the very next step is knowing that you have systems and processes in place to build that business. You don't want to get to where you're making 5-6 figures with broken systems, because then you're going to scale a broken business that's going to be a terrible mess. It's all going to come crashing down someday if it hasn't yet. And that is scary. So yeah, the sooner the better. I mean, yes, obviously you have to like the coach that you're working with. And I just think you're a genuinely good human. I really, really appreciate the way you see business, the way you see the world, the way you treat people is really, really refreshing. I know some coaches get the reputation for being kind of hard-nosed and pushing back. And I think that you can do that. You can give some tough love if needed. But I really appreciate just always knowing that if there was a failure or a mess up, that it was going to be met with compassion, which is really important in something that's vulnerable, like a business. You're putting your heart and soul out on the internet and hoping that people accept it well. And when things don't work out, it's really disheartening sometimes. So I just appreciate what a good human you are. But I was grateful that we had so much time, like, to work on actual goals. Like, I thought that a lot of it was just going to be creating systems, which was good. But I also thought, well, I still got to hit my goals. Yes, we're gonna create these streamlined systems for your business and also help you work on your business and also help you reach your goals, because there was so much more of that than I anticipated. It changes everything, right? All of a sudden, if you can say, oh, I don't know how to get from point A to point Z, well, I can build whatever I want then. One other thing I meant to say to you about what I got out of Streamline too was constraint. Like, as somebody, like, a lot of entrepreneurs are just intrinsic overachievers. We're like, we're going to do all the things all the time. which is great until you're like crippled and in a ball because you can't meet any of your goals. They're so overwhelming and they're not based in reality. And so it probably took me 3 quarters to finally go, you mean if I cut my goals in half and really focus on them, I can actually get there instead of thinking I can capture the moon. I'm not shooting for ridiculous things that I never get done. Like, and of course it's almost like the reason people don't do will. Nobody wants to confront their mortality. I don't want to acknowledge that I'm not capable of all these things. But the sooner I do, the more I actually get done.